Hello Leeds, my name is hazelmillichamp and this is the Light on Leeds podcast. On this week's episode I spoke to Denham Hill, who is the community manager and skateboard coach of LS-Ten. LS-Ten is a skate park in South Leeds, but it also provides alternative provision for pupils who are close to or have been excluded from school. The skate park covers 25,000 square feet and has a wide selection of professional and bespoke ramps and a huge street section laid out in 4 main sections open to all kinds of rider. I really enjoyed speaking to Denham and I hope that you will enjoy listening. On this episode of the Light on Leeds podcast, I have Denham Hill, who's remotely connected to speak to me. Hello, Denham.
Hi, Hazel. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming along to speak to me, well, remotely coming along. So you've come to speak to me about LS-Ten Skatepark. Can you tell me all about it and how you got involved?
Yeah, of course. So LS-Ten Skatepark, we're based in Hunslet. We're just behind the big Costco. Now, a lot of people were familiar with the old skate park that used to exist here, which was the Works. LS-Ten kind of under a new team of volunteers in response to the closure of the works took over in February of 2019 or January of 2019, sorry. And we're a charity and our focus is on kind of celebrating and rewarding individuality and diversity through wheeled sports and also promoting equality as well. So we reach out to a lot of different young people across Leeds. We have an alternative provision on the site as well, which serves some of the harder to reach young people, and they have daily skate park sessions, and our whole focus is to get them back into a mainstream educational setting. We of course have the public skate park, which is kind of open 7 days a week, so you can book in for sessions. We run beginner sessions, we run sessions for marginalised genders as well, so there's a bit of something for everybody. And then we kind of go out into the city of Leeds and deliver community projects as well. So we go to skate parks out and about. We take a bunch of boards and helmets and just basically spread skateboarding to as many young people as we possibly can. It's all about kind of providing opportunities where perhaps those opportunities wouldn't have existed previously. So we do work in a lot of areas that are seen to be areas of high deprivation. I don't like to use that word personally. I think using the term deprivation can be a little bit negative. So maybe let's say areas where there's not as much opportunity. I got involved pretty much when LS-Ten started, or maybe a couple of months after anyways. My experience is in skateboard coach development and skateboard coaching itself. Of course, LS-Ten was an organisation I was familiar with, so I applied to take on the role as a skateboard coach, and nearly 3 years down the line, I'm running the community side of the business and charity and coaching and developing our new coaches as well. So wearing lots of different hats and just giving back the joy that skateboarding has brought me over the past 20 years or so.
Oh, that's fantastic. It must be really great to manage to get yourself a job in an area that you love so much. I imagine you've been skating since you were quite young.
Yeah. So I started when I was 10. So every time I go into sessions with the younger kids and tell them I've been skating 20 years, I feel really, really old. You know, it seems like a really long time to be skating. But yeah, it's fantastic to make a career out of something that you love doing. It's something that's a lot more achievable now as well. I think for young people who are getting into wheeled sports, there's more coaching opportunities, and of course after the Olympics this year with skateboarding, there's opportunities within that as well. So yeah, it was hard work at first, but now that skateboarding and wheeled sports are opening up, I think it's important that we let young people know that you absolutely can, if you want to, pursue a career in wheeled sports outside of just riding as well.
That must be a great thing to do, to be able to take the wheel sports to a really wide range of people, and like you say, to be able to use it for perhaps students who don't do particularly well in the traditional form of education.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of the things that you realise with skateboarding in particular. I mean, that's where my experience is. But any wheeled sport really. One thing that is kind of constant within that is you have to be very resilient and you have to be tolerant of failure as well. So what this teaches young people is that, you know what, it's fine if you don't get it right first time. There's tricks that I do now that I still can't do first time every time. So it really reinforces that that failure is actually okay, and it's a part of the learning process, and it's not something that you should be scared of. But it also builds the resilience, and that's something that I've taken from skating into my everyday life. You soon learn that you're going to have to fall a few times, pick yourself back up, and just keep going. As skateboarders, we're very good at turning the phrase "no more" into just one more, and putting it in to get it done. So I think that's a really important thing to teach young people. But also, it involves you in a much bigger global community. It's
Yeah.
brilliant for social skills, for confidence, for self-esteem, and those are all the things that we preach here at LS-Ten. So yeah, offering that to young people who might struggle or might not have really felt like they've had ownership of anything before is really positive.
Oh, that sounds like a brilliant thing that you're all doing down there. Excuse me. So, so with the sort of public side of it, where anybody can go along, do you have a really wide range of age groups and people who come along to learn, who perhaps who've never tried it before?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a really kind of broad demographic of customers here. So we have children in as young as kind of 4 or 5, and then we have kind of older gentlemen in the 50s as well, you know, and at all points in between. So skateboarding is kind of for everybody. It's pretty tolerant of all people of all backgrounds, and age isn't really much of a factor. I mean, of course, sometimes. Depending on what you want to get out of skateboarding, it can play a factor. But generally, whether you're young or old, you can always get involved and at least just roll around on a board and have fun with it. So yeah, we get a big number of different groups of people, ranging from people who are completely new to it to people who may have skated in the past and are looking to get back into it. Lockdown was actually really good for skateboarding. That's one positive thing that came out of it, because a lot of people realised they could just take the board out onto the street or just anywhere with a bit of flat concrete and just get practicing. So that accessibility has definitely been a merit to skateboarding over the past sort of couple of years. But yeah, we get a lot of different people in. The typical perception of skateboarding was it used to be a sport for typically white teenage boys, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Now we have a girls only session with Rolling with the Girls, who are a female led group in Leeds, and it's one of the most attended sessions that we have throughout the week. So it's kind of it's good to see so many new pockets of people cropping up, and particularly those who may sometimes be at risk of being marginalised. They're getting involved in skateboarding and building communities around that as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. And do you think that the exposure that the sport got in Olympics has widened the interest of people?
Absolutely, yeah. It's basically promoted skateboarding to a wider audience, but it's also shown that what we do is legitimate. I mean, for us as skateboarders, it was legitimate anyways, but I think the public perception of skateboarding sometimes has been a little bit negative, and it's something that's definitely changed over the past few years. There's been a bit of it's been a bit of a bone of contention in the skateboarding community, whether really, you know, we need the Olympics,
Mhm.
but the way we have to look at it is with the Olympics, it means that more money is going to be invested in skateboarding. It's going to inspire more young people to do it, which it absolutely has. And ultimately, that's going to mean that more skate parks are built and that the facilities are of a higher quality as well. So it's all positive. I think, particularly with after Sky Brown's appearance in the Olympics, we're getting a huge amount of young female skating now, and therefore there's more female role models in the skate community, which is
Yeah,
something that when I started didn't exist. You know.
yeah. And what was it that made you get involved with skateboarding in the first place?
Quite a number of things, really. I mean, I started skating, so yeah, quite a while ago. But it's when there was quite a big boom in skateboarding's popularity. What we find in skating is it seems to follow a boom or bust cycle every 10 years or so.
Yeah.
So I started when the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games came out,
Hmm.
which a lot of people started at around the same time. And a lot of my friends had started, they'd got boards, and I kind of got into it. And a lot of my friends quit after a while, but I was kind of taken by it. It was something that was sort of constructively rebellious, something that I could really focus on. Like there's no finishing line. There's always something new to learn. And if I was being honest, when I started, I was probably out of my group of friends the worst skateboarder. It did not come naturally to me at all. So it took quite a lot of hard work to get any good at it, or even to start enjoying it and not falling off as much. But yeah, from then I just obviously got right into it. I had a little break in sort of my early 20s, but then got back in and just started competing, doing demonstrations, things like that. I never thought that kind of a little wooden toy could have such an impact on my life, but I mean it's taken me around the world. I've met some incredible people, and now it helps me feed my family as well. So it's incredible to see how far skateboarding can actually take you.
Yeah, definitely. And you have your own YouTube channel where we do all sorts of brilliant performances. Do you get lots of good feedback when you're actually doing them? When you're in the city doing them?
Yeah, yeah. So, do you mean from kind of my personal skating or from LS-Ten?
Yeah, personal skating.
Oh, right, yeah. So it's the style of skating that I do is freestyle, so it's a little bit different from maybe other forms of skating that you might see. So it does get a bit of a different reaction off people because it's a bit of a different approach.
Right.
So there's a lot of technicality. It's about linking tricks together for flow and everything like that. And generally, yeah, the reaction's really good because the freestyle's a bit more underground. You don't see as many people doing it. So it's good to be able to promote that a little bit. And people see it and think, oh, that's not an approach that I knew was was viable. So it's good that people take a bit of interest in it. I think through skating in the city centre, it's yeah, you get that bit of interest, you get people asking questions, but um, the main thing is that it's something that can be done anywhere, just on flat ground, so you can really take it wherever you'd like. And because of that, I guess it kind of removes a little bit of the stigma around skating. Sometimes I think a lot of people in the city are worried about skateboarders destroying property or whatever. And I guess with freestyle that doesn't really happen because you just use the flat ground as well.
So sorry for my ignorance. I really don't know anything about skating at all. Apart from when you mentioned the Tony Hawk's game, because I remember my son playing that for a
Oh
very
yeah.
long time. But when you're talking about that your style is freestyle, what is that? So what other styles would you normally see?
So the two main types of skating that you'll see are street skateboarding, which involves kind of, when you see skateboarders ollieing down stair sets and grinding
Yeah,
handrails and things. That's kind of your street skateboarding. And then you have park as well, which is more ramps and such. So I guess a good example would be like the Vans Park series. That's a good example of that, and that's
yeah.
one of the forms that you'll have seen in the Olympics as well. That's kind of the discipline that Sky Brown was involved in.
Mhm.
And then you have vert as well. So vert skateboarding basically involves a much bigger half pipe. So your stereotypical skateboard ramp. That's not maybe seen as much anymore, and it's not something that's involved in the Olympics either at the moment, anyway. But it's something that you'd see on the X Games and things like that. So that's your typical kind of Tony Hawk style skateboarding, if we were to
Right.
call the phrase. Yeah.
Yeah. And so is all of your family involved in the whole skating scene, Denham?
No, no. I mean, for me, skating was something that I did entirely independently. None of my family were really into it that much. My family now, so my stepdaughter, she rides her roller skates a little bit. She had a little go at skateboarding, but I'm not sure if it's quite for her. And I'm quite keen not to kind of force her down a path or anything. I'd like her to kind
No,
of
yeah.
explore a little bit and see which she prefers. My partner, she did a little bit of skateboarding as well, but then she's kind of got more into roller skating too. So they've all kind of gone on to 8 wheels rather than four. Which is fine, but it kind of billies me at the skate park a little bit. I just have to skate by myself while they're off learning from each other.
I did see an excellent video on TikTok about a family, and it was showing you a little boy, and it showed you him from when he was 1, learning to be on a skateboard, and then the difference to when he was 2 was it was mind blowing. It was like watching a tiny little robot who was
Yeah.
perfect at skateboarding. It's crazy that you could teach a child so small to. I suppose they don't have much fear at that age.
Yeah. That's one thing that we definitely see with the younger kids who are getting. They are not particularly scared of hurling themselves down anything. Whereas I think when you're an adult, um, you know the consequences, don't you? So you can be a little bit more fearful sometimes.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I guess for some of the kids as well, if you happen to get injured, you get a bit of time off school, and that's all good. But like if you're an adult, you're gonna have to have time off work and all this, and it can be a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, the kids. Certainly, some of the ones that we're getting here are absolutely fearless. Yeah, it's terrifying just watching them.
Has it been quite difficult for you all during the times when you weren't able to open through this strange past couple of years that we've had?
Yeah, it's been tough, and it's I guess same for a lot of different businesses. It's been a really difficult couple of years, well, nearly a couple of years now. What it has done is it's given us a lot of opportunities to kind of adapt what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we had a go at running online sessions for schools and schools that were still open throughout the time, dealing with the most vulnerable young people. So that was great. That gave us a kind of an additional string to our bow that we could try out. We also put quite a lot of time into making tutorial videos on YouTube through the LS-Ten channel, just so that we could continue to reach people. We did live lessons through Facebook as well, and basically just to try and keep providing that service that we know a lot of people who visit us really value. A lot of people take on skateboarding or wheeled sports as a way to deal with issues around the mental health or and similar things. So we didn't want people to miss out on that. So we did our best to try and keep providing that service, even if it was kind of virtually. The good thing is with our alternative provision that remained open because we deal with quite vulnerable young people. So that kind of helped keep us ticking over and gave us plenty that we could be working on. But yeah, it was very very quiet down in the skate park, which is something you never really get used to, unfortunately.
No, no.
No, no.
And do you have any big plans for the future?
For the future, yeah. I mean, we're always looking at kind of expanding our offerings. So we had a big refit done on the skate park throughout lockdown, which is brilliant. That's really helped to kind of keep us current and relevant in the skate park sort of world. We also have a section out back that is under construction, so that in summer we can open that up to younger children. We've got like a bit of DIY skate park there as well, which has been built by volunteers from Welcome Skate Store and the wider Leeds community. So we've got that going on too. We have numerous community projects coming up that we're planning in for spring and summer as well. So we'll be going out to a bunch of different skate parks out and about across the city and just giving people the opportunity to have a go at skating.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
there's always something going on. We try and reach out to as many young people as we possibly can do. So that means we're kind of diversifying our offering all the time and looking at new things we can bring out there.
Oh, that's fantastic. And Denham, can I ask you, have you always lived in Leeds?
I have, yeah. So I was born in Otley and lived there ever since. Pretty much. Well, I moved up to Horsforth, but I've always been around Leeds. So yeah. Spent a long time around here, trying to familiarise myself, and yeah. Still love it. Still, a very very vibrant city with plenty going on. So yeah,
Well,
I think
that's
I'll
great to
stick
hear.
around.
That means that you're qualified to answer the 3 questions that I ask every guest. The
Go
first
for it.
one being, what would you say is great about the city of Leeds?
So I think Leeds as a city is pretty inclusive and really respects kind of diversity and equality as well, which is something that's very important, particularly in today's society. It's important to be accepting. It's important to champion everyone's rights, and I think Leeds does that quite well. Also, I think in terms of events and things happening in Leeds, like I'm quite into. I'm quite into hardcore and hardcore punk and stuff, so there's always something like that going on. There's shows and things like that going on in Leeds too. So yeah, I think it's very inclusive. I think there's a lot of diversity, and I think there's always something you can get stuck into as well.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And if you had to choose something that is not so great about the city, what would you go for?
I think, and I've probably noticed it more in recent years. There's quite a lot of sort of more run-down parts of the city where things have closed down. They've just kind of been left there. There's a lot of kind of shells of old shops and things like that.
Yeah,
A lot of kind of wasteland as well, just on the outskirts and such. It'd be good to see these sorts of places developed a little, particularly when of course there's such a homeless crisis going on in the country at the moment. It'd be good to see maybe some of these old buildings converted into housing that's kind of affordable, or at least something that's suitable, so we can house people who are in desperate need of it. But
yeah, definitely.
at least then those spaces would be used constructively. Um, let's keep our fingers crossed for the future, though. Hopefully, we'll start seeing some improvements there.
Yeah, let's hope so, because they've been doing things like that in places like Manchester. They've got all sorts of great initiatives going on there where they're using old land and for,
Yeah,
for that kind of thing. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed.
let's hope so.
And if somebody was a long-term resident of Leeds, would you be able to tell them about something that you would consider to be a hidden gem that they may never have heard of?
Yeah, so I mean, I know this sounds a bit like we're blowing our own trumpet here, but we were really surprised as to how many people come in and visit us at LS-Ten who didn't even know the skate park existed, even when it was the works, and that was there for about 15 years.
Yeah.
So we are quite tucked away. But like I say, we're open to everybody. You can drop in even just for a bit of a chat if you'd like. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, I'd recommend coming down and paying us a visit. We're a pretty social and friendly bunch. We like to have a bit of a chin wag with everybody. So if you know other folks that haven't heard of us or haven't visited us, and send them our way. We'll get them riding.
Brilliant, that's perfect. And what will you be doing with the rest of your day today, Denham?
Rest of the day today is we've got a couple of coaching jobs on today, so I'll be running a coaching session for the young people in our alternative provision. Then I'll be doing as I do every afternoon. I'll be having a bit of a skate because I've got a demonstration coming up on Sunday, so I'll be doing a bit of that, and generally just wrapping up for the week, getting in touch with a few schools for some bookings, and yeah, getting prepped for a busy couple of weeks over Christmas, where we've got activity camps running and a few other coaching activities as well.
Great, so you've got a busy afternoon.
Absolutely, always busy, always busy.
Well, thank you ever so much for joining me and speaking to me today. I'll put lots of links in the podcast notes that people can click through, find where you are, and get involved.
Perfect, that's brilliant. Thanks very much, Hazel. Great to chat
Thank
to you.
you. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking to Denham about LS-Ten Skatepark. You need to get yourself along there. They deliver a mix of sessions for skateboarding, BMX, scooters, quad, and inline. Do check out Denham's YouTube channel. The link is in the podcast notes as usual. He does freestyle skateboarding, and the videos are really impressive. And I think if anything's going to inspire you to give you something a go, it might be that. The featured track on this episode is Friends by the band Silverlode. I'm really hoping to see this band live, as I'm really loving their work. See what you think, and have a great week. Speak soon, Leeds. Bye.
What's happening in this great city? We'll tell you. Wait a minute.
Tried to party